Hello, beloved people. Thank you so much for tuning in on a daily on our show, Redefining Possibilities, where we delve into aspects of life, spirituality, relationships, finances, intimation. Moving forward, I'm your host, Edina Napewo. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share on our media handles. Today, as usual, we are privileged to have a man of God, a teacher of the word, and an inspiration to many. And I believe that he will be an inspiration to you too. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I request you to introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Ssentayi. I'm the vision bearer of the Worship Prayer Ministries International. I'm a member of the Mashup family. I'm a businessman, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh.
Right. So that's my introduction.
Thank you
so
very much.
You're welcome.
Pastor, thanks. Today we have our theme, and that is love relationships,
Okay.
where we are going to delve into these relationships to know what they are, how we should handle them, what are the problems that most people are facing, and how do we overcome them. Mr. Thanks, please explain to us, as our teacher today, how do you see love relationships?
Okay. To everyone who is watching me, this is a very beautiful question, or something we can discuss tonight. Fundamentally, I would say you're asking me to redefine and explain what a love relationship is.
Yes.
It's carrying towards love and relationship, meaning specifically, this relationship is founded on love. Biblically, I'll begin from there to explain this deeply. Love was born by God in a man, but it's carried into the consciousness of man. But deeply, we have found that many people cannot differentiate love, feelings, and feelings as well, because these are two different things, but they're activated as if they're same. You cannot really tell someone who is loving and who is just having feelings, though feelings are the primary experience of everyone. To build up a love, it has to begin as a feeling. But deeply, many people don't really understand. And now, what sustains a relationship, they're not feelings. It's love, because feelings are built about emotions. Emotions, you understand? Because feelings, they are contribution of something. You do good to me, I build up feelings for you. But love is totally different from that. You understand? Because feelings are transactional, but love is internal. As the Bible says, that love is patient, love is kind, love is not self-seeking. And many times, as Christians or people, I'll begin with here in the church, the Christians, we really don't understand the true foundation of love. Because where the Bible says in John 3:16, for God loved the world and he gave his son. So where love is, there's a giving. And we all know that Christ is defined as love. You understand? That they that know God, they know love, because God is love and God is Christ. And how did we see Christ demonstrating his love to us? When he died on the cross, meaning love is sacrifice. And many of us want to have a relationship where we don't want to sacrifice. We want everything to favor us. You understand? That's why many of us were missing it. But to really explain it as you've asked me, that love and relationship is built on love, and love is God. Meaning, a relationship is built on God. That's how I can explain a love relationship.
Thank you very much, Pastor Thanks.
Thank you.
Moving forward, Don't forget to subscribe, like, share on all our media handles as displayed on your screen. Pastor, thanks.
Yes.
Looking at love relationships in our daily society today, what picture do you get?
Okay.
In church and in the world, I would say.
Wow. To me, because fundamentally, if you remember where I have come from, explaining love and relationship, I always want to see this from that place. You understand? But I've realized that at many cases, our love relationships are failing on a daily basis. We have many people who are dating, who have dated, and their love relationships have not ended into marriage. But they had hopes. They say they had God, they dreamed, they had the confirmations from God. Men of God prayed for them.
Okay.
I dreamt him. I saw me and him. We are going at the altar. I was putting on a gown. There are very many things that can speak up.
Yeah.
And you realize that after a few months or a year or 2 years, these people are not getting married. They are now breaking up. And this is happening in the world and the church as well.
Okay.
And I've realized that that's the biggest slate of a marriage relationships or love relationships now. There are breakups. We have few that are ending up in marriage. So if you ask me what is my view over that, that's how I am seeing it.
Okay.
That the number of breakups is just increasing every day. And yet it began as a promising relationship. Some even took the first steps, they proposed. Some even went home, and all that, but they realized that they couldn't make up in life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. To you that is watching, I think for the little we have heard, you have really seen that he is a teacher. And I would request that you share as soon as possible to your neighbor, to your friend, subscribe, like, and follow as we delve much deeper into relationships. Are you single? Are you dating? Did they propose? What are you up to? Are you in a relationship or believing that you will be in a relationship anytime? My friend, listen and borrow a leaf. Thank you. Pastor, thanks.
Yes, please.
Looking at all those astonishing kinds of relationships, how would you advise? Because looking at the world today, old people are breaking up, young children, I would call them young children, though they are young children, of course, when you look at their stature, but they have ages that is 20, 22, 23, they're in relationships, but they are also breaking up. 30s are breaking up. 40s are breaking up. There is surely no one to advise who. But
and divorces are increasing.
Divorces are increasing
In
every
the church.
time. In the church, in the world. But how do you advise? How do we come about this problem?
Wow. I'll begin by saying, marriage is not for the aged. Marriage is for the mature. There are people who are old enough to get married, but they're not mature enough to get married. I think you can get that statement.
I get
Let me even repeat it again. There are people who are old enough to get married, but they're not mature enough to run a marriage life. The Bible says in Matthew 19 and verses 11, the Message version, the Bible says, but Jesus said, this is Jesus saying, that not everyone is mature enough to live a married life. You understand?
Okay.
And the Bible says it requires a certain aptitude and grace. And the Bible says marriage isn't for everyone.
Wow.
That's what the Bible says. When you read it, Matthew 19:11 from the Message version, the Bible says and Jesus said not everyone is mature enough to live a married life. And I want to talk to someone listening to me. The Bible says that no one wakes up one day to build a house and they don't take accountability. Meaning, when you plan to build a house, you need to sit down and know what is needed. You need cement, you need timber, you need sand, you need bricks, and all that. Even with marriage, you got to sit down and know and make a plan. And I always tell people, before you date that person, first understand their hearts fundamentally. Where is their heart? If you cannot interpret someone's heart, you cannot tell where they're going. You understand? That is very, very important. Secondly, where we miss it, our foundation. What is that thing that is bringing us together? Is it that you're beautiful? Or is it that he has the American height? He has a big beard like mine? What is the point? Because if you cannot interpret that fundamentally, you will not keep it up. Feelings go by time.
Okay.
And I always tell people, you cannot realize that you love someone until you get married for 2 years. Oh, these are feelings. You understand? Where he sends flowers, you gift her, he remembers your birthday, things of that sort. All that is beautiful. But it's a pathing of feeling. There are paths of feelings. But deeply, God is not inviting us into this only for fun. Let's look into this from the foundation. The first marriage couple we see is Adam and Eve. What did God say about marriage when he was meeting Eve and Adam? He told Adam, it's not good for a man to be alone. He went into Adam, the Bible says, and he got Eve out of Adam. Meaning, your perfect wife should come out of you.
Okay.
The perfect husband should be the missing part of you. God only gives you what fulfills you. Meaning, when you sit down, what do you see in this person that adds on you? Because I always tell people and ministers as well, the person you're marrying or you're getting married to is either adding on you or reducing you. And I've seen many people, many pastors, whose ministries are going down on a daily basis because they married wrong. I've seen women. There's a worshiper I knew many years ago, a great worshiper, a friend. Then a man came to her and told her, I want to marry you, I love the worship in you. And she felt so, attached, because she always wanted a man that will contribute on her ministry, something like that. The moment this woman got married, the guy stopped her from going back to church. Stay home, don't work. The guy is Christian. And many of you think, as long as he stands speaking, he goes to church, he goes to the choir, he's a minister, that's all. No. He can be a perfect guy, but not yours.
Okay.
You understand? Because the Bible says that she will never lack her mate. Everyone has been designed by your mate. God has designed someone for you. And I always tell people, I always tell my friends, it will be pity to get to heaven and realize the man that you stayed for 8 years wasn't your husband. But you struggled with a dude, you struggled with a woman, but she wasn't your wife. What am I trying to say? Take time as you're choosing a partner. Understand, learn to hear beyond feelings. Learn to hear their heart. Learn to hear their vision. Learn to hear God right. Because it's very hard to hear God when the feelings are high. When you go to sleep, you dream him. Of course. Because he's already on your mind. When you go to sleep, you dream her because she's already on your mind. So you can't say, I dreamt when when our wedding. You have to dream that because you love her. Okay. So, to hear God right, you need to learn, you need to consecrate your heart deeply to hear beyond feelings. And allow me to make this statement. Marriage is for the dead people.
So are we going to first die, then get married, Pastor?
Can I explain that?
Please.
I've said marriage is for the dead people. Let me bring it to you. And this message goes to even those who are in marriage. Because there are those in marriages, but they're not yet dead.
So, Pastor, to stop there, don't forget to subscribe, follow, share, and like all our media handles as they're displayed on your screen. The pastor has said that marriage is for the dead people. Hey, do you have a friend, single, dating, proposed to, or he proposed? Please rush and share so that we may all be live as the pastor delves deeper into what he means when he says that marriage is for the dead. Pastor, back to you.
Yes. You're laughing. But let me explain it for someone. Now, where are we dating? We are dating for marriage, right?
Yes.
That's our primary concept of dating. Biblically, we are dating for marriage.
For marriage.
In Ephesians chapter 5 and verses 25, I'm explaining the point of dating. The Bible says, husbands, go out in your love for your wives, exactly as Christ loved the church. Now tell me, what did Christ do for the church?
He died for that time.
He died for the church. If you're not willing to die for your wife, you're not ready for marriage. And as well, wives, submit to your husbands as the church submits to Christ. Can you denounce Christ?
No.
Can you say, Jesus, you broke my heart? You disappointed me? You understand? So you understand the responsibility therein. When I talked about death, I mean to die to yourself. One of the biggest challenge with people is selfishness. You know, my car, my phone, my money, my house, me. Me, they don't do this to me. You don't talk to me like that. When you still have the word me, you're not ready for marriage. Because there's a way God does things. He gives you your opposite. I mean that point where you want everything in its own position. And then your spouse is a disorganized fellow. You get that stocks to the table. You understand what I'm trying to talk about?
Yes.
You get that cup in the basin. And now you're going to check him, or you're going to go out, you're going to run away because he's not doing things in order. I talked about death. You die to yourself. You stop that thing that says in you, me, they don't do this, you don't talk to me like that, you listen to me, you don't do this. When that space dies in you, then you're ready for marriage.
So, Pastor, you want to mean that the moment you are ready to get married or to start the dating process so that you go in marriage, you have to erase the I and put the we.
The we. Exactly.
Oh. Wow.
When you get married, listen to me, people who are married. That car, I don't care whether you are the one who bought it, you lady. It's our car.
Interesting.
It's our house. It's our money.
Wow.
I don't know who taught people that women, it's their money, and men, it's our money. No. The Bible says, when the two are joined together, they become one.
They become one, yes.
How can you have yet we are one? Meaning, the moment we become one, everything
is for we.
Your health is my health.
Okay.
Your life is my life. You understand? That's why that's the concept of intimacy. That's why the God brought the intimate concept for us to become one. It's not about giving birth, but in that space, we become one.
Okay.
It's a connection. So I think you understand when I talked about death. You understand? You die. You stop saying my. And that's why many people are still fighting marriages up to date. Because every time in them there's my house, my phone. You don't touch my bag, don't touch my shoe. Then you're going to lose it. You become one. Your TV is my TV. Your house is your mouth. Your life, your feelings are my feelings.
Okay.
And that's why many people don't care about other people's feelings. You understand? Do you know, to keep a love relationship or a marriage, there should come a point where you need to compromise.
Okay.
You need to compromise. How? It's that point where there are things you don't want, and you're going to begin loving them for the sake of your spouse. You understand?
To conclude and pack up the we.
The we.
Wow, interesting.
Let me bring it to you. Your husband loves matoke, but you don't love matoke.
I really don't love matoke. I just want to try it.
Woman of God, you're going to learn how to prepare matoke, and you're going to learn how to eat matoke.
Oh my God.
Let me bring another example. Majorly, men love football.
Yeah.
But women do not love football.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that attracts the attention of a man when you show him that you understand football. Just imagine that evening when he comes back and you've made some research about football and you have some lines you're putting around. He'll be so surprised that you love football. You understand what I'm telling you? To keep some people, or to keep this love marriage, moving, you need to compromise. You need to adopt certain things for other people.
Now, Pastor,
Mm-hmm.
I'll put a question to you in relation to the compromising, and I will also bring football and soaps.
Soaps.
Yes. Now, I'm a girlfriend, and I have my boyfriend.
Mhm.
He loves football, and I love my soaps.
You love my soaps.
Yes. So at the same time, where I have to watch my soaps, it's the same time he has to watch his football. Now, who should compromise?
Wow. Wow. It's such a question. Now listen.
Mm.
Communication is key. How you communicate in this matter brings it around.
Okay.
So I always let me bring my reasoning. Those soaps normally have a review. Huh? They rewatch them.
Yeah.
There's a time to rewatch it. And maybe football doesn't have that. Or maybe as a woman who has learned the place of submission, your man is your king.
Okay.
A king's request is an order. You understand? Yes, you're queen, but I would say your husband comes first. Allow him to watch football, even prepare tea. You watch that soap later.
Okay.
You understand? But also to a husband who really understands the place of love. It's wisdom and maturity to let your wife watch it, to watch the what?
The soaps.
And get the football from the YouTube.
Okay.
So I would say the major point in this is communication and maturity. You understand? It's very immature to fight for a remote as married. No, me I'm watching football, me I'm watching this. You understand? It's very funny.
Now you boys watching. I hear these days you call yourselves Batabani wa Farao, Batabani wa Adamu.
Ah.
We are on you. The pastor has said it's maturity and growth. How do you fight for a remote really? How do you do those things? You fight for the front seat and you're like, you sit behind, my friends will see you seated next to me in my car. If you're in a relationship, he has said that it is we. Now, run, call your friend, tell them to subscribe, like, follow all our media handles as they are displayed on your screen. Pastor, you talked about understanding hearts, understanding the foundation. Now, there is this slogan that is normally used, and that is red flags. Now, how do I see that this relationship is going to last? This relationship is failing. This relationship is this and that. How do I press on? When do I have to press on? And when do I have to quit?
Wow. Okay, let me come from this place. Many times, young people have lists of qualifications. You know,
Yeah.
I have my list. I need a guy who is this and this and this and this. We all have lists. We all have lists. But let me advise someone who's watching me. You will never have someone who is as perfect as the man you want. That man does not exist, and that woman does not exist. You can't have him God-fearing, handsome, hardworking, smanya, gentle, quiet, what? That man does not exist.
Pastor, you mean they are not there?
They are not there.
So we are looking for nothing.
The perfect man you're looking up to, someone has made. Let me tell you, everyone in this world has some work to do. And marriage is responsibility. You understand? Marriage is not fun, marriage is responsibility. But let me help you understand this. Find a man, young ladies, find a man who is who is looking so much to get the best out of you. Someone who is not looking at your weakness. You understand? Someone who knows you. And women, marry a man that you can submit to. Mani I had someone gagamba njafuna akasajja akampika kube. Don't get a man that you can beat. Marriage will fail. You understand? Do you get where I'm coming from? But you talked about this red flag, what. I think the problem with young people is that they want they qualified yet they're not qualified.
Okay.
You understand? Ask yourself, that kind of a man you want, are you suitable for him? If you were a mother, huh, would you give your son to a woman like you? Let me talk to gents. If you were a father, would you give out your daughter to a man like you? Meaning, you need to have a self-evaluation. You understand? You need to look into yourself. Everybody has some work to do. No, can you get a man who loves God, who has a relationship with the God you know? Hey, that's very important. Who has a relationship with the God you know? Secondly, get a man who has a vision. Women marry visions, marry man purpose. We marry purpose. What is your part in my life? Where is your space? Then women, we marry vision. Where is he going? He might not have that money, but as long as he has a vision, unveil it and understand your space as a woman in the spirit to accomplish that vision. You understand? That is fundamental. I don't care whether he can't keep quiet over, he doesn't know how to, he's not so smart. You can work out all that. But the basic things you need to look out, his heart, the vision, the God he understands. You understand? And to men who are listening to me and watching me, men marry character. We men, we understand love through submission, not gifts. You don't need to buy me flowers. The fact that if you understand that you respect me and submit to me, that is love to me. And women understand love through language. You understand? They want care. They want your presence. All that are factors. But deeply, I would say, to young ladies who are watching me, work out on your character. I don't care how beautiful you are. There's a video I released recently. I told these girls, yes, you know how to do makeup, you know how to dress, but your character has no makeup. Ka character ko kaina ka growth kanje. So it's that time where you need to go and work out yourself. Then you earn marriage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's been such a touching moment. Yeah. He hit us, but he hit me too. You sons of Adam. I hear Watawani wa Farao. Wow. Pastor, thank you very much. Wow. What has caught your attention? What caught my attention is such his heart. And the other thing is, if you are the mother, would you give your son to a person like you? And if you are a father, would you give your daughter to a man like you? Wow. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.